I'm speechless. Oh my god, this book. Are you gonna help? Come here. So before I get further into this review, this is your warning. This video is going to have massive spoilers in it. So if you don't want the spoilers, click off. Go somewhere else. Shoo, go. Because I'm not going to be responsible for spoiling this book for you. It's not going to be me. That being said, if you haven't read the book, go away. If you have, welcome. Welcome to another YAP and review. This is where I yap about my books and sometimes review them because I remember to, and other times I just talk about them the whole time. Starting off, I was hoping that this book would start with a time jump, considering the ending of the last one where Celaena wins. We know what her role is going to be. We know what her job is going to be. I kind of hoped that it wouldn't start directly where it finished. I feel like the last one ended at a really good spot to where you know what she's going to be doing, so you don't need to know every detail of her job. I feel like it was really necessary for the story and the flow of it. Getting to see Celaena at work and be this, I don't know what I'm allowed to say on YouTube. Getting to see Celaena at work and see this whole other side to her was surreal. It was so different and I loved it. It was disturbing. It was badass. It was really nice to see this, and I say this very loosely because I've learned that if you say this, people take it wrong. I feel like getting to see this side of Celaena from Dorian and Kale's POV was really nice and refreshing. I love Celaena's character. What made me love Celaena's character more was the fact that she wasn't really killing these people. She was giving them the chance to live and run away. I feel like that is so ballsy. I think that she was so badass for putting herself at risk and letting these people live. Do I fully know the reason for it? No, but it just made me love her character more. It genuinely made me love her more. In this book, we get to meet a few new characters and then we get a lot of the same ones, and I just want to say, I will get into this more later. I take back, I revoke everything I said in the last video. In the last video, I said I predicted that Dorian would become less of a character. He would kind of fall off since Celaena rejected him. I take it back. I don't know what I was talking about. I take it back and I regret everything I said. I seriously love every single character in this book. I feel like they're done so well. I loved getting to see more of Dorian. I loved getting to see more of Nehemia and Celaena's friendship. It was so wholesome to me. I loved it. Although I did not trust Nehemia fully in the first book, I was kind of weary of her. In this one, I feel like she really grew on me, and I can imagine she's what everybody looks for in a friendship, especially her and Celaena's friendship. It was just so wholesome and I loved it. Dorian, we'll get to Dorian. I want to talk about Kale. I made a TikTok about Kale and how much I loved him and how much I was willing to give up to see this man thrive, especially with Celaena. I also take all of that back. However, I really did love their love story. I thought it was sweet. I loved seeing Celaena happy. I loved seeing Kale relax a bit and seeing from his point of view how much he did love her. However, I did worry about where his loyalties lied. It worries me that he would give up anything for his job, including Celaena. I will say, reading throughout this and seeing from his POV, his intentions seemed true. Getting to know what his thoughts were and how he felt, they seemed genuine, so we get to see a few more new characters. We get to meet Archer, which is the one that the king has hired Celaena to. I did not trust him from the beginning, and I will say that with my whole chest. I did not trust him, and I think that was probably a universal thing, because the king is telling you to this guy because he's going against the king, and Celaena knew him, so it was just kind of unsettling at first. Didn't really trust him. Roland, I have mixed emotions on, because at first he seemed very arrogant. He seemed like he was better than everybody else, but I can see him kind of coming around. I really liked how he backed all of Dorian's ideas 100%, without a doubt. I feel like he's going to have Dorian's back in any circumstance. So he's kind of growing on me. I feel like he's just too new to be able to really judge so far. One thing that I will say that really still doesn't make sense to me, and I guess I need to go back and reread and I can look up the meaning. I, for some reason, cannot imagine the word marks. And I didn't fully understand the idea of the word keys and the word gates. I have a rough idea, but for some reason, anytime I think of them or like purpose, it just gets lost. So that's a me thing. I feel like I should go back and read them, but if I don't mention those, that's why, because I don't want to say anything that is completely wrong. I'm trying to go in the order of what happens in the story, so if I'm forgetting anything, please don't hate me for it. If I do miss something, please comment in the comments, because I would love to have conversations with people about how you felt about the story, and if I missed anything that you were amazed about, please don't hesitate, because it gives me more reason to talk about these things. I'm not gonna lie, I thought we were betrayed by Nehemia again. I wanted to talk about chapter 55. It is a single page. I did not understand this at all. I did not understand the chapter whatsoever. When I read it, I thought, oh my gosh, Nehemia is turning her back on us. Nehemia is gone. Nehemia is not coming back. This is chapter 55. You can pause it if you wanted to read that. Made no sense. I thought Nehemia had betrayed us. I thought it was over. I was like, no way, no way. I will also come back to that here in a little bit. So what I wanted to talk about, one thing that I was so excited about, is finding the little snippets of Easter eggs that have to do with the Fae and ACOTAR. I knew that these books were tied in somehow, but I didn't know how exactly. So it's so exciting to find like the small little things, because it reminds me so much of it. ACOTAR is my all-time favorite. It is also the first series that I have read in 10 years, so that would make sense. But seeing those little tidbits, I'm like, oh my gosh, like what if it's this? While Selena is exploring, and she finds the hidden passage in the library, just like she found in her room. The depictions of the fairies, the walls, the sculptures, like genuinely made me, it made my heart happy. Oh, it made my heart so happy, because I'm like, oh my gosh, like, this is where the yapping comes into play. I don't wonder if any of that will actually tie into the ACOTAR characters. I don't know, because I'm only on the 3rd book now, which is Assassin's Blade, so that's just something I'm gonna have to read along and see for myself. A big spoiler is Dorian and his powers. I kind of saw it coming, so I wasn't too shocked, I wasn't too surprised. I have to say, I've never been happier that it is his character. I am so happy that it is his character that has the powers, because I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like he is the best character to have powers. I feel like it adds so much to him. It's almost like a piece was missing from him. Knowing that he has these powers now, I feel like he is being so smart about who he is telling, what he's doing with it. He's obviously trying to find a way to control it, and it breaks my heart that he doesn't feel safe enough to talk to his family about it. Obviously his dad is the king, so his dad was the one that like completely got rid of it, but it breaks my heart knowing that he has to hide it. And I just feel like it adds so much character and so much to his character. And I really do think he's being so smart about keeping it secret and who he's telling and who he isn't telling. It is questionable, however, that he went to Baba Yellowlegs, because how would she not know you're the crown prince? Just saying. Like I said in my last video, I am still ashamed that I said that I thought that his character would fall off. I underestimated him, and I am so glad I was wrong. Now to the sad part of this video. I did not want to talk about this because it genuinely broke my heart, and I don't want it to be true. Kale finding out about Nehemia being in danger, I could only see it going wrong. I could only see it not going well. I guess I didn't fully understand the situation until it had happened. Nehemia's death resonated with me so much. That probably sounds so stupid to say, but it did. It rocked my world. The fact that Selena was going after Kale to save him because he had been kidnapped, and she was killing all of these men to get back to what she loved, not knowing that somebody else that she loved was being brutally, breaks my heart. The idea of not knowing that somebody I loved was being hurt and not being able to make it in time, it is absolutely devastating. It genuinely breaks my heart for Selena. I was so sucked into that part of the story. I won't go into full detail. I was so sucked into that part of the story that it took me a minute to come back to reality. It took me a minute. It broke my heart. I felt like I had lost a friend. Going into the small details of Selena's grief, her reaction to everyone around her, to Nehemia's death, was 100% valid. 110% valid. I can't say that I know how I would react if one of my best friends was, but it was 100% valid. I would like to think that I would react that way too, because what did she do to deserve that? What did she do? It still breaks my heart. It still resonates with me. I think about it. I have thought about it every day since I finished the book. What also broke my heart and what got tears into my eyes was when Selena was standing outside of the castle with Fleetfoot. When Selena is standing outside with Fleetfoot playing fetch, obviously Selena is so heartbroken with the grief. She's just there, and Fleetfoot's standing at her feet, waiting for Nehemia to get there. Oh, it broke my heart. It genuinely, that is what tied it in for me. Fleetfoot just waiting for Nehemia, and Selena saying she's not coming back. You can't say that. You can't say that. What do you mean she's not coming back? What do you mean? Now, my opinion on Kale. I'm about to get aggressive. My opinion on Kale. I want to hold out hope for him. I feel like I have to come back to this because I have to get my thoughts in order for that. Kale, why didn't you tell her? You knew Selena loved Nehemia. You know Nehemia meant so much to Selena. And this is why I come back to saying I don't know where Kale's true loyalty lies. You loved this girl so much. You're not going to tell her that her best friend is in danger? I had made a TikTok saying that if something happened to Kale, something was going to happen to me. And I was so scared. And everybody was like, girl, read on. You're in for a ride. And I was in for a ride. That's all I'm going to say about the Kale situation. I have a little bit more to add in the end, but we will get there because there's more things that I want to talk about first. I lied. There's one more thing I want to talk about. Selena going into Nehemia's room when it happened and her trying to attack Cole. I might just, if I say Cole one more time. Selena attacking Kale was, like I said, her reactions were 100% valid. And how else would you react to that situation? Somebody you love that you have been given your whole self to has pretty much betrayed you and kept secrets from you, and now your best friend has been... So, we're gonna tie all of this together. Nehemia, we're gonna tie in Kale. When I tell you I was on the edge of my seat at the part where Selena is exploring the old dungeon, I was so locked into the story, it was crazy. It was genuinely crazy. I'm not gonna give too many details on that because I feel like it's something you're gonna have to just read for yourself because it was just a holy crap. Holy crap. One thing I want to say before I move on, Selena had taken Kale for his birthday to the garden. The moment she told him she wasn't actually the people, she was letting them go. Girl, that's for our inside voices. That's not to tell everybody. Because I'm still so hesitant about Kale's real loyalty. And the moment he was like, you've gone mad, I was like, oh, it's over. It's over. Selena's over. The king's gonna kill her. It's over. I fully expected that man to run to the king and say, she's over there. I yelled some pretty bad words in front of a lot of people because I was so locked into my book that I forgot where I was. So if that tells you anything. Anyway, going back to the dungeons, I want to say that I have a theory. It's probably so stupid, and it was probably so obvious that I should know by now, and that it probably shouldn't be a question or it's something that I find out later. The creature that was in the dungeons that chased Selena and Dorian, was it Sam? Was it Sam? Am I missing something in the story that should completely get rid of this theory? Probably. It described the creature and how it had scars on his chest, which, mind you, I don't know a lot about Sam or what happened. I only know how she described his death. So far, what little she has given us about his death. I can't help but feel that it was, because then at some point, when it's from Dorian's POV, it describes that he sees the creature look at Selena, and part of it looks relieved, it looks relaxed, and I'm like, it's Sam. It's Sam. I'm telling you right now, it's Sam. Don't call me stupid. Let me live in my theories and ideas in peace. And then if I'm just stupid, I can figure it out. Getting to the good part. The moment this book became my top 3. So Dorian decides to send Selena to Wendland. So Wendland on the map, this is Wendland. So he's sending her all the way over here. Hale finds out that Selena has Fae powers in that portal that she opened. Selena, her opening the portal to see Nehemia was also so heartbreaking for me, especially since Fleetfoot was involved. The sequence of Fleetfoot being so excited and sensing her, and Selena finally seeing Nehemia come through. Oh, it hit me. It hit me right in the heart. And it really broke my heart at first because I was like, you know, you see Nehemia, she's like, what did you do? Don't ever do this again. And she starts to walk away. I was like, no, like, please say more. Don't just leave it at this. And then she turns around. She was like, it was never your fault. I knew this was gonna happen. I am okay. Like, don't ever open this portal again. I had to sit in bed for a minute and just think on what I just read because it genuinely hurt me. Selena goes through the portal. She goes to save Kale. He'd gone after Fleetfoot. That was another thing that absolutely broke my heart because this is my Fleetfoot. Really, my dog is my Fleetfoot. I cannot imagine anything happening. I would never let anything happen to this dog. And my dog is injured and it has no way of getting away. Selena yelling for Fleetfoot. Oh, that was the moment. Like, I genuinely, like, I was already almost in tears at this part, but that is what sent me over the edge. And so Kale slightly redeemed himself when he went after Fleetfoot and risked going into the portal. I was also so thrilled when it started describing Selena's powers once she entered the portal. I'm just like, oh my god. I thought that was so cool. Just to kind of summarize, Kale sees these powers. He was already suspicious of where Selena came from, what line she came from, because of the song he found her singing at Nehemia's grave. So when he sends her away to Windland, when they're on the dock and he's like saying goodbye to her, and it's just like, oh, poor you. And she whispers the date of her parents' death. I was like, what could that mean? Like, I was so invested. I was like, what does that mean? What does it mean? He goes and finds the papers of her heritage. Selena is Aelin. She is heir to the throne. Goosebumps. I literally have goosebumps. I have goosebumps right now. It shook me. It shook me. I bless my boyfriend. He puts up with me when I read my books. I grabbed his arm as hard as I could and I'm sitting there shaking him and he has no idea what's going on. It changed my life. It changed my life. I called it from the beginning. I'm sitting there reading the first one. I'm like, is Selena Aelin? Because they mentioned her. I've seen some pictures of Aelin and I'm like, that's kind of odd. You know, Selena and Aelin are both blonde. Like, I knew it. I look like such an idiot right now, but I knew it. I knew it from the beginning. What got me as well is the way Kale found out after he sent her. And I see his intentions are true. He's trying to send her away so that she would be safe because she has Fae powers. She's of Fae lineage because her great-grandmother was Fae. I think he meant well with trying to help her, not knowing. And he finds us out at the end, which is even better because it's like, like in your face. He sends her away to be in the hands of her allies. Oh my god. Oh my god. He knew she was a threat. And now she's even more of a threat because she's heir to the throne and she's going to be with her allies. Guys, I can't. I'm unwell. When she's leaving, another thing that really got me was when she was leaving and saying goodbye to Dorian. That kind of hurt. That was like, oh dang, Dorian's a good one. Her leaving Fleetfoot, that out of all the goodbyes that she said, that is what got me the most. Because I've had to do that before. I've had to leave. Little context, almost 2 years ago, my soul dog passed away suddenly. It was the worst thing I've ever been through in my life. I'm not gonna go into detail because it was so excruciating. Having to leave her behind, Selena leaving Fleetfoot genuinely killed me. I've got this one. I can never imagine leaving this one anywhere where I'm not. I can't imagine leaving her to go do something else. I understand why Selena did it because Fleetfoot wouldn't be able to keep up with what she had to do. That being said, I was a wreck. I was an emotional wreck. I'm very excited to see where Selena and Dorian's story continues when she gets back, if she gets back. I'm excited to see what happens with that because she said she would come back for him. All of that being said, I understand the importance of reading Assassin's Blade 3rd now. At first, I was dead set on reading it first. People were saying it made you closer to Selena, it helped you relate to her. But after reading the end of this book, when you find out that Selena really is Aelin, I feel like it is truly the best way to read it third, because you know who she is, you get her background story, you realize who her parents were, the situation that happened to her. I could not think of a better way to read it. At the end of the day, if you want to read it first, if you want to read it third, however that makes you happy, by all means. My recommendation, read it third. Please, because I have never been so excited to read a book in my life, and it all makes so much sense. Another thing, I mentioned chapter 25, where Nehemia is, well, now we know it is Nehemia, when she's down in the tomb talking to Elena. I went back and looked at this chapter because it stuck with me, because I just remember being like, what did that mean? Like, what was that? Nehemia telling Selena that she knew and that she was the one that kind of put on her end made this chapter make so much sense. It genuinely, it all clicked, and I'm like, this is brilliant. This is brilliant. This is, I never read a more brilliant story. At the end of it, I loved how everything tied together. I loved how it ended. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. It really did. And I am so excited to read the rest of these stories, because I know that that's gonna get so much better in the end. So all of that being said, overall I rated this book a 4.5 out of 5 stars. A little higher than Throne of Glass, because there were just so many twists and turns in the story. It was emotional. It was all over the place in a good way, because it leaves you guessing, it leaves you wondering and theorizing, and then you get the answers. So this book is genuinely one of my top 3. I've never been speechless about a book before, minus a few, but I feel like this one, in terms of story, plot twist, and finding things out, is one of the best books I have ever read. So I am so excited for that. I am so excited to see where the story goes. I am so excited to read this next one, which is a prequel, and get to know Selena more. I am excited for the emotional damage, which is not something I say usually. I'm trying to take it slow because I'm already on book 3, and I know that it'll be over, and once it's over, I will never be able to read them again for the first time. Definitely pacing myself. I'm gonna try and do a video almost immediately after I finish each book. So I've got Assassin's Blade next. That'll be kind of a good information kind of book, I feel like. I don't technically have any theories because this one goes in the past, so I am so excited. I really appreciate you watching this YAP and review and listening to me rant about this book for however long this video is. I hope you enjoyed this YAP and review. If you have any theories, if you have any ideas or anything that I missed in this video, please comment them about this book. Please no spoilers about the series. I feel like I'm giving the courtesy of not giving spoiler warnings. If I miss anything you might have thought of, please comment. And if you like this video, give it a like so I know that I can keep doing them. I loved this book, so super excited to see where it goes. Bye.